What's up, YouTube? Alright, I'm gonna do a 2-episode review. It's gonna be 2 episodes together. It's gonna be episode 35 and 36 of Kingdom put together. Alright. Oh my gosh, Shin is a blockhead. Alright, I know I said it last time before, but let me just re-emphasize that. He's a blockhead. The guy is dumb. You know, it's bad enough when you know you suck at something, but you continue to do the same thing over and over again. But it's another thing when you have people's lives at stake. And that's what Shin does, is that he has people's lives at stake, and he doesn't care. But anyway, let's start this thing off. Alright, so basically here's what happens. I'm gonna just sum everything up very quickly. Alright. So Dao, the girl, she shows up. She trained under Meg Tian's younger brother, and he's gonna be his strategist. But Shin is so proud they would not allow her to fight not to fight, but to initiate her plans until he went out and did some stuff that was wrong as usual, and lost some people. But what she did is that she insisted on Shin making a decision about what her status was going to be regarding being the strategist in his army. So finally he relents, and she goes out there and she's managed to extricate his soldiers from a very bad situation and get them to retreat. Now what she did is that she retreated to this mountain top where they put their headquarters, and in the middle there were these valleys with different alternating routes in between. It's like a maze, right? So then the enemy army approaches, and they can see that this army is being led by somebody, that the facing unit is being led by somebody who knows what they're doing, or who's directing things. So what the guy does is that he has a 4,000 men, and the the Fin chasing unit has about 1,000 guys. So he sends his army, he sends 1,000 of his elite troops at them, just 1,000 guys, to test what the strategist can do. And she's amazing. She sets up this first of all, she allows the army to penetrate the maze, but as the army penetrates the maze, the army is forced to split up into smaller units because the valleys only allow so many people to enter. So she sends in a few hundred guys to fight in the valleys because the numbers are so thin that it allows them to send a few troops in. So she sends in 100 here, 100 there, and they fight. And they're successful. They're actually able to push some of the units back to where some of the valley points were converging, surround those units, and annihilate them. So the guy's like, alright, full on charge out. Send in the entire regiment. So the other 3,000 guys charge, and as they charge, she sends in Shin's unit with a lot of the guys, I think maybe 600 or 800, and has them charge the enemy lines before they can reach the valley. So the enemy general sees this, and he's like, okay, let's just go wipe these guys out. So he sends in all his forces after Shin, and they surround his force, and they're fighting really hard. What he doesn't realize is that when Shin comes out and attacks the left side of his army, outside of the ring of the valleys, then what happens next? Then he sends in reinforcements to assist with the left side, and when that happens, they begin to really press hard against Shin and his group. But the thing about this is that Shin has his best fighters fighting. So the battle is raging on, and so he finally sends in more reinforcements. And once he sees that last bit of reinforcement goes in, then that's when she sends this surprise attack. Bam! Kicks him in the ass. Battle over. Alright. So here's what I love about this review. Alright. We have some interesting character development with Diao, the strategist. First of all, she is strong. She's strong in the sense that she has strong personality. She has strong conviction of will. She's able to get Shin to, take himself out of the picture and think about what is best for the army, and that she is the best thing for the army. That's one thing. The other thing is that she has studied being a strategist with Meng Tian, and she was used to maneuvering pieces on like a chessboard or a go board, right? If you're Chinese, they play Go. And what she realizes is that fighting battles for real, where you're actually sacrificing or calculating, making calculations on human lives, it was not an easy thing to do. Not at all. So after the end of the battle, when she goes to the battlefield and she sees the places littered with the dead, the impact of the realities of war hit her. And she realizes that what she learned at school, one thing the guy told her is that, when you go out there, you're going to be dealing with real lives. And, sometimes fighting real battles is different. The feel is different. And sometimes you can get paralyzed by the fortunes of war themselves. So she got a very good lesson about that. So what I like about her is that she takes that into consideration when she now plans for future battles. So near the end of the second episode, right, when she is going over her plans, Shin comes in and he's like, let's go out and see the guys. And he's like, no, I need to plan. It's like, can't you do that tomorrow? No, I need to do this now. Because if I don't get this right, more people will die. And Shin's like, it doesn't matter how many people live or die. And I was like, Shin, how can you say that? Huh? How can you be a general and say that? One thing Sun Tzu said is that the best general was the one who was able to fight and win battles without fighting. Sun Tzu said that. And I totally agree with that. I think back in history, I think about that battle with Napoleon. I think it was Austerlitz, I think. Napoleon defeated the combined armies of Austria, Prussia, and let me see. I think it was just Austria and Prussia. I may have to review, but the point is that Napoleon surrounded the entire enemy force without firing a single shot and won the war, or the battle, which was virtually the war. Brilliance. That is genius. That is brilliance. So, Shin going here like, it doesn't really matter, how many people live or die. I mean, that's nonsense. Of course it matters. And she recognizes that. So she wants to make sure she builds her plans to the best of her ability and make sure that they don't cost that much in human lives. I love her for that. I really do. I really have my respect. Alright. Now let me talk about Shin for a brief minute. Okay, he's a blockhead, I get that. But what I don't understand is how this guy does not have any strategic knowledge whatsoever. I don't get that. And here's why I don't get that. In the first season, remember when he was being taught by the great general of Shin? What's his name again? Quang Li? No, Ben. See, here's my problem. The names are in Chinese, but I hear them in Japanese because, the series is in Japanese. So I get mixed up. Between what the Chinese words actually are and then the Japanese pronunciation, which are totally different, which I find fascinating. But anyway, I remember that this guy sent this guy down in the middle of I think some ruffian country somewhere, right? And the purpose was to teach Shin strategy and how to motivate people to fight and how to successfully lead men in battle. And it seems to me that Shin has completely forgotten everything about that, and he just is terrible. But what I will give Shin credit for is that once he recognized the girl's value, he accepted her wholeheartedly. Because remember before that he was not totally supportive of the idea of she coming in and start running the show, and that he was just going to continue things as they were. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you're going to continue things as they were, you want to stay in charge, at least do something more intelligent a little bit. But no, he doesn't do that. He just does the same old thing. But anyway, I love these two episodes together. I'm actually glad I'm doing this together because the first episode was just about her convincing him to let him fight, and then the second episode is the actual battle, and they end up capturing the enemy general, and everybody is shocked. everybody is completely shocked and stunned. Even the enemy generals were captured, and they're like shocked that a little girl in big shoes came and just wiped the floor with all of them. Completely outwitted them. Completely outwitted them. But this is good. So let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know what you think of this series. I really love this series. For those of you who don't know, the main reason why I love this series is that it's the only anime I know, or the only series I know, where you have pitched battles between huge army groups. At least the most prominent series so far. I absolutely love that. What I don't like is people like Shin who do exactly the same thing. They're great in battle, they're great giving all the speeches, rousing the men, but they can't think. Got a problem with that. But anyway, I want to keep this short, so that's all I'll say for now. Thank you for watching this review. If you like what you saw, or like what you heard, I should say, please subscribe. I'll be bringing up plenty more of this stuff. Just started, but we have a long ways to go, and I plan on getting there. This is The Crossover, signing out.